Hold up. Haven't seen you up here before. What's your business? Witchman? Bloody Mara. Never thought they would get this close. Okay, you can go through to Morosa. Tell her everything. For the sake of the Reach. Keep safe. Spit it out.
Heard the news from Skyrim? They say that Ulfric was captured and killed.
He wasn't killed. A dragon came to rescue him.
You're mad, brother. Besides, the dragons hated us back then. They would hate us now. Time doesn't wait. Fresh news for the hardy folk of the Divide.
Hey, new face, do me a favor, will you? Please, I'll make it worth the trouble. Look, I need some gear, friend. Real fast, like. I'm willing to part with whatever gold I got here. If ya agree, that is. Just need you to give the rest of this pouch to a fella named Elrich, down in Arnima. He'll be festering with the rest of our ilk. You know, beggars. You've earned yourself a friend. Anything you need, I mean anything, and I'll return the favor. Just don't go asking while my eyes are at the back of my head. That's my happy time. Mortal turmoil.
After your shift, we'll drown those worries at the inn. And take comfort in those words. No need to hear of our capital to share in your animosity. A session at the inn should distract us from these miseries.
Are you my gallant hero?
Do not allow Axia to fester.
You wanted to speak of Mortavane. I've heard the news from the council that his seat in Arnima may be put into question.
That's correct, because he and his guards are demanding more gold from the merchants, while also becoming more aggressive. No better than thugs. And that little lord does nothing but encourage it. I despise that unsightly man. Every conversation with him is extremely unpleasant. His paranoia also makes it so we can't have any of our own in that town to keep an eye on him.
I have a missionary within the temple down there. If you need consoling on this, you only need to ask. If I may beg my pardon, I shall return to servicing this temple.
Very well. Make a prayer that nothing terrible arises from this disorder. It's good to have the gods listening in times like this. Have we arranged a meeting, or is it your intent to address nobility lacking proper decorum? Speak quickly, lest you rile my temper. Oh, a harbinger of grim news. Not the best first impression. Well, thank you for telling me in advance of my own guards. It was only a matter of time before they spilled further east. pardon the introduction, yet understand the need for it. We can't have any wandering yokel approach royalty like they're of the same stock. It's not good for the kingdom's image. We'll have the guard there as soon as possible. But for you, are you interested in some coin? We need someone to talk to us. Nothing more pleasing to a mercenary than gold. From your mannerisms, I'll make the sound assertion that you're not versed with High Rock itself, and probably lack knowledge of this realm. However, you will come to know the kingdom's people in short time, as our stone walls all but separate the encroach of savage from civilized. Yes, well, onto the matter. To the east of this bridge lies the town of Ornima, formerly Raven Spring, lest you run into a resident whose mind is stuck in bygone years. Can get confusing, much like everything else in this land. Within Ornima, you will find Jakos, who trains the scout detachment there. He's the only man that I somewhat trust, who's not completely beholden to his lord. Ask him about rumors. Tell him that I sent you. He should understand your intent. We've conducted affairs before. A simple nod from him will be more than enough information for you to infer. You don't need to know any further than that. Now, off you go. Earn a small fortune for yourself. I heard Evermore has many an opportunity to entertain your proclivities. On the stipulation of coin, mind you. Such coin that will be available on your return. I assume you're new to the Reach and haven't become acquainted with anything further than this bridge, so a brief lesson in geography is in order. Just beyond the southern gate of the settlement lays Sabbath, a town recently ravaged by a mage that was still sniffing out. However, our search was impeded from the risen dead that malcontent left in their wake. It's a possibility, yet I'm not staking any more men on a hope. We're but a fledgling town when it comes to arms. Our guard exists for immediate defense, not to be used in any failed excursion. I'm no expert nor historian, but what I can tell you should be the same that every Reachman would recite when speaking of those savages. Accounts state that this new incarnation of the Witchman appeared near 2 decades back, just after the incident at Munstor. You haven't heard of it either. I feel like I'll be going over the history of every blade of grass in the Reach. I digress. Munstor was an abandoned fort far to the north that has since succumbed to its frozen locale. Peasants, serfs, and other seditious souls had made a great exodus under the cover of night, all leaving their fields, abandoning the lords they were sworn to serve. Of course, when all your labor, thus wealth, absconds in but a moment, there will be tremors. So the lords had sent men to trail these wayward workers all the way to Munstor. What they saw was an ostensibly bizarre affair, both witchmen and peasants forming a decadent commune, many turning to layabouts who engaged in petty pleasures and shirking the labor that had made them. I see you're not one for absorbing the finer details of a conversation. This was before they had all turned feral. Not to say they weren't savage before, but that former identity was ultimately harmless, unlike those you see now. The lords eschewed violence at first, instead opting to subvert the commune, freeing their scum and exiles northward, with the condition that they go live in Munstor. The hope was that the delusional dreamers of that town would abandon their fickle want for equality once extreme personalities had entered their midst. To our utter astonishment, they didn't. These scum that would haunt our societies were either subsumed into the mix or blocked from entry, leading many to evaluate the true intent of these radicals. We thought they were just pacifists who'd allow any and all into their ranks, which would spell doom for any gathering. Panic-stricken, many lords conspired, finally pushing for the siege that would be that commune's undoing. Cutting off food, digging extensive tunnels to both poison their wells and revealing more avenues for attack. Lastly, clear diplomacy, to impart some reason into those serfs, enough for them to return to civilization and abandon these naive ideals. The lords saw the beneficiaries within Munster, a gathering of hag ravens who were prolonging the siege to impossible lengths. Then crumbs of discontent were found among the militia. Fear gripped the nobility that these ideas could spread to every serf. Nobility, not just from Evermore, but from all over High Rock, sent aid when they heard how severe the crisis was. All of High Rock seemingly united to crush this small town. Yet only a Luddite would think so simply. This was to crush an idea, a canker that'd undo the very world we haven. So the Lord's strength was honed into one blow, throwing all their might at those walls. They fell, and what mercy we would have spared upon those misguided serfs was instead replaced with conviction to stamp out a chaotic ideology. No, they, however, did, to the last man, woman, and child, a Pyrrhic victory in the truest sense. Evermore had lost half its serf class, yet the lords were elated that the existential crisis of revolution was averted. Exceptionally harsh measures were put in place for anyone that even uttered the commune's name, or who dared to evoke the same rebellious sentiments. And so that concludes the tale of Munster. Almost lost myself in another tale. Maybe because that question isn't as easily answered. Bear with me, as what follows can drift into conjecture. Rumors from the nobility in that siege reported seeing figures watching the slaughter unfold in the town. Neither part of the kingdom's militia or the defendants. Scouts were dispatched to see who the strange party was, and upon their return they displayed strange idols, with the scouts claiming them as gifts from those shady silhouettes, though their names or identities were never disclosed. Most of the nobility had discarded these charms immediately, except for that wretched Mortifane, who was enamored by that hideous amulet that still wrings his filthy neck. If I could tell you, then we'd already be halfway to a solution by now, but that's where my knowledge ends. I hope you enjoyed the tale. It's always a guilty pleasure to recite when the low-born are acting up.
Stranger, fancy an extra blade to accompany you through the menagerie that is the Reach? Who said I'm not working for our mum as well? If it makes you feel any better, I spare a little prayer for every unfortunate bastard that happens to meet my axe. Besides, haven't you done just the same thing? Maybe poor of vision, but I ain't deaf. Always a spin, huh? Look, I ain't gonna knock you for earning a little extra coin. Not many other options to do so around the Reach. Though if you're ever feeling down and you need a rough pauldron to cry on, then I'm your man. Though I've got a little problem with my legs. You see, they can't move unless I rub them with some coin. Say, 500 septums to be exact. So, will you help a poor old codger to walk again? Gold makes me a happy man. Now let's go bash some skulls before I bore my arse off. Alright then. What's the matter? More free stuff. You're too generous, mate. Till next time.
I've got your back. Alright, what is it? If you need anything else, just holler. What can I do for you, friend? Certainly. If you need anything else, just holler.
What can I do for you? What do you need? What's on your mind? I'll be sure to put it to good use. Do let me know if I can be of service.
Cat got your tongue. This is just degrading. Alright then.
I'm right behind you.
You'll need the luck.
What do you want me to carry? Is there anything else you need?
What can I do for you, friend? What do you need? Lead us to our next task. I'm still here. I'll be sure to put it to good use. Are you ready?
Got something on your mind? This is just degrading. Alright then.
Another gutter rat.
I see you, scum. Looks like we're walking. Say your prayers.
Now, it's over.
Sir, a moment, if you will.
Spit it out.
The taxes, sir, they are too great for what we produce. Could you be so merciful to have the lord of this? We will not slacken if his lordship is generous.
That coin is going to a better cause, for the realm and the god-appointed lord, so that this land doesn't descend into chaos. Are you so selfish to forego our welfare just for another loaf of bread?
Sir, forgive me for what I speak, but the people starve and anger simmers. Whispers of dissent are heard from those most in need. We cannot face more disorder in these trying times.
And if those whispers become loud enough that I happen to overhear them, then we will be seeing more heads adorn the pikes. Only one way to reason with rebellious scum, and it's not with mercy. Now get back to your duty, serf, lest my temper sours further.
You can't keep it all. That's my earnings for the season. Listen, I can treat you lads to a round at the inn if you just let me take back half my stuff. A good compromise, right, boys?
It's always evermore, never us that you care about. Why is that, merchant? Gold more important
It's really
than
great,
blood,
my
huh?
friends.
And nah,
I was hoping
we're
to
keeping
find
the
some
whole
way to
lot
thank
of
you.
it.
I hope
Besides,
this does the
the
trick.
inn stopped selling quality ale a good while ago. Nothing but piss pints now.
Too right. Been ages since we've had a good drink. Could probably buy a whole fortnight's worth of rum on your behalf, merchant. Those ponces at Evermore will have to wait for their next batch of fancy jewellery.
Here, here. Now, we're a generous lot. So your horse and whatever rags you wrapped in are all yours. And this is only temporary, so don't feel too glum.
Yeah, bugger off before we get all Morty involved.
Word spreads, lads. Don't be surprised when us men of coin stop appearing.
Get to the point. An eager helper or a plotting saboteur? If the latter, then I must warn you, there's no second chances within this town. First sign of you turning cloak will have you hoisted in the dungeons. What do you suggest? Confront our foes with daisies and smiles? They'll cleave your smug face in two. Yeah, there's some truth to your words, and I'd be remiss to this town's welfare if I stubbornly defend my stance. So if you're sincere and you want to help out, then we have a job at hand. Oh no, friend. Not attempt, but do. This isn't a job that you can just half-arse and make your peace with the land. You'll have to stick it through, else Mara's going to be receiving another soul. If you haven't noticed, we civilised folk in our civilised gatherings are but an enclave to all the scum that lie in wait, just a stone's throw from our gates. Our closest neighbours happen to be those feral folk dejected from the kingdom's settlements, making the wilds their home. Exiles. Same thing, just different legal repercussions if they ever return to where they were booted. The punishment here is death. Mortafane decreed it so. Even the family of exiles can expect the same harsh treatment if they're ever found to be consorting with their criminal kin. Well, we needed a scout to oversee any contraband smuggling or corruption within our ranks, who may be dealing with the delinquents. The exiles don't pose the same threat as all the other villains in the Reach, but they sure break cohesion here in the kingdom. Always had a problem with our guard, doped up and turning a blind eye to their duties. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish between your own and those rats who supply them. Just what I like to hear. Some conviction for your work. Here, give us your map. I'll dot the area that our scouts use as a vantage point. Can gander at the whole camp on this humble knoll. Just make sure you're discreet with this venture. These exiles may be dumb, but they ain't blind. Never seen you before, so I'll hazard a guess that you're new. The sheer state this town must be in for a newcomer to first remark on its poverty. If you're willing to stay a while longer, then you'll come to witness that some of us still retain our civility. Don't judge a book by its cover, they say. Wish that were completely true in our case. And I hear you can get your tongue cut off for having your words stray so close to treason. There's no point in scaring off another visitor, and I should applaud you for that intuition. Many who've come to stay in this tragic town only bemoan the people, instead of looking to who governs them. Got ourselves a spy. Could find yourself at the end of a rope, if you're lucky. Yeah, I know who you're talking of. Tell her that a helping hand is more than welcome. She'll get the gist. Before I forget myself as someone of meagre authority, take this letter as well. The seal is meant to keep prying fingers out, so she'll know if you start sticking your nose in. What? Want to take me to dinner? Just make sure you get back to her safely. If you ever feel your safety compromised, make sure to leave no trace of that letter. Else all the blood that follows will be on your hands, not mine. We'll talk again.
Go to the point right about now. Come on, what you say? Feel safe up there. Can only imagine how much time this bridge has left to go before the night. Wouldn't want to be on it when it falls.
He can very well bring our town down with his if he doesn't come to his senses. I'll have to make word with Evermore's council to see what can be done. Your deeds are appreciated. Make yourself feel welcome atop our bridge. The head of the Imperial Embassy, Drugo, needs someone as disciplined as you. Make sure to pay them a visit. Seems they're going to make a push against the Orsimer who raised their outpost. Your help could make the difference. Good to see some enthusiasm. The Reach certainly needs more like you. I'll prefer to keep a head on my shoulders and not become incensed by recalling our past altercations. Even picturing that miserable bit of face casts a spell of anger over me. You needn't be. He, as a topic for conversation, is as pleasant as any other fetid duty we're plagued with, to only be addressed when its removal is an option. Farewell.
Let's go. Settle at the inn for a bit. My legs are begging for a rest.
Another gutter rat.
I've fought cold. I yield!
I'm sorry, but you left me with no choice.
I'm still here. Of course. Are you... What can I do for you? Of course.
I'm right behind you. What do you want me to carry? Let me know if you need anything.
I'm right behind you.
Look who's fresh!
I'll be glad to help you.
Right between your eyes.
Back to the great task of waiting.
What was that? I could still put up a fight. Hey, where'd you go? No! Ah, haven't lived this long to be beaten by you. That's all you know. Yeah! That's the best, huh? Huh? Yeah! Ah! Look who's prey!
I've got your back.